First goal of the season for yourself in Houston. Talk us through that goal.
It's just a goal we needed. Everyone was very committed to not lose the game down there, and so it just happened to me. It happened to be me at that time. Everyone worked, their behinds off in that game. We took a step. We discovered something about us in that game that we need to carry with us for the rest of the season. Just like I said, we discovered something back in Houston. We need to outwork opponents. If we outwork opponents, I think at the end of the game there, we're the stronger team down in Houston. And if we start that way and play for 90 minutes, we shouldn't have a lot of problems against a lot of teams. Seattle is heavily stacked. Even though they have players out, they're still a very good team. I, for one, haven't been them in the league, since their inception. So I'm looking forward to that game, and hopefully we can rally and get a victory.
Talk about that game. Talk about the conditions down in Houston.
Yeah, I thought the conditions were hot, humid. Coming off only a couple days rest after the Open Cup, and it wasn't really the result. It was more, I think, the attitude that we had. In the second half, we were pressing them. We did some little things defensively, especially. We worked hard, and if there was someone that was probably going to win the game at the end, it was going to be us, which was something definitely to build on. In the last month or so, there hasn't been much to build on, so I think this was definitely a positive step for us. No, I think especially defensively, I think just play with the same desperation we had last game. It was, last game we were desperate to take the ball off the other team higher up the field. You can help a lot defensively if you keep the ball some offensively, and that's something we would like to improve off of Houston. But once we do spend the energy to win the ball, it's how can we keep it and maybe get some rest for a couple minutes so we're not constantly chasing the game.
It's been a long time coming, but Mike and Patrick are back. What kind of a boost is that for the club?
Yeah, psychologically, it's huge to have them on the field. I think you saw it coming in the second half against Houston. It was big for us. I think, Mike's someone who makes great runs, so I think for me, I like playing with him because he kind of lulls teams to sleep and all of a sudden slips in behind, and it makes it easy for me to play those little balls in behind, and then Patrick gives us something that we, don't really have, especially with David being out. I think, to have, those two guys able to run out guys on the wing, it's something that certainly I don't really bring as a winger. So I think to have that kind of mix up on the outsides is big for us.